Hey, this is Justin, and I wanted to talk to you today about why politics is stupid. And what I mean by that is why are politicians stupid, and how did we end up in this situation? And I'm phrasing, the title this way because that's what we observe as individuals, but really the core reason politics is stupid or has become stupid is because it's irrelevant. And then the question is, well, why is it irrelevant? And that's kind of what I want to talk through today. I have a core personal theory about this. This is definitely in the domain of philosophy, but I don't think it's wrong, and a lot of people agree with me. Um, but before that, there's a core reasons people don't care about the 2020 fencing championships. I'm a fencer. I love fencing. It's a great sport. But people will cry literal tears over the NBA or NHL. And that's because they're powerful and they have influence, right? The NBA and NHL are bankrolled by very influential people. They bring in a lot of money. There's a whole economy there. There's a gambling economy. There's a spectator economy. It's very powerful, and it's what's interesting about this example is that on the surface, in terms of activity, there's no difference between fencing and the NBA or NHL. They're both spectator sports. People just like one or not the other one. Um, but what's interesting is how relevant they are and how much they dictate our emotional states and even our careers and lives. Right? So I walked down the street when I think I was 21. I was living in this old ratty apartment, loved it. And I remember I saw somebody selling a couch on the corner, selling a bunch of stuff in boxes. And I remember I walked up and I was like, "How much for the couch?" He said, $40. I'm like, "I got some in my apartment. Give me a second, I'll run back." So I ran back to my house, grabbed the $40. And on the way back, there was a guy standing beside the couch with his wallet out. And I said, "What's going on here?" And the guy said, "Oh, he's trying to offer me $80 for your couch. But it's your couch." He said, "I just told you to go get money, so it's yours." So I gave him the $40. The couch is mine. And the guy followed me with the $80 and said, "Hey, can I buy the couch off you?" And I looked at the first guy, and the first guy said, "Do what you want. It's your couch now." And I sold it to the second guy for $80. Now, at that time, I had just picked up this copy of On Power and Ideology by Noam Chomsky, and I was starting to read a little bit about the economy. I was interested in these sort of subjects. I was interested in power dynamics. I really like Power Systems by Noam, and I also liked engineering and financial engineering, and I also liked these two worlds. And I knew something was wrong here, and I didn't know what it was, and it's taken me a long time to figure it out. But this core issue, this issue of speculation and the amount of value, the fact that I doubled that $40 in 2 minutes, that made me, well, it made me, one side of me was like, "This is really bad." The other side of me was like, "This is really cool. How can I conjure wealth instantaneously?" And it turns out that very smart people think in this way all the time. There are a lot of sophisticated ways in which people can multiply their wealth very quickly, right? It used to be that power was controlled and organized by states and by royalty or landowners, and this was where wealth was. And so to gain wealth, you had to gain favor of powerful individuals through politics. Today, if you have control of some assets and you have a means to speculate, even if the assets are quite minor, you can multiply them many times very quickly. And so, if we follow this thought experiment through and we agree that speculation is valuable, if you know something about the future, then that's worth some money. If we understand that it's sophisticated, that teams and teams of people have engineering systems that allow for them to organize their speculation and study it, this can be a big driver of the economy. We use sophisticated market systems all the time when we use Uber or when we buy a house, right? And these sophisticated systems permeate our lives so much so that many of them are opaque to us, but they are still power or wealth transferring devices that allow either for us to speculate on other people or us to speculate on others. Right. When you invest in the stock market, you're speculating on the value of human and automated labor combined to achieve an objective. If someone gives you a loan, they're speculating on you and betting that you will make more money in the future. Right. It's speculation's leverage now. Because you can borrow money to buy a house and because a bank can borrow money to lend to you, there's this chain or web of leverage, and everyone's trying to pull future value into the present by lending out loans, right? If you go in the stock market, you could lend people assets, hoping that you'll get a return on investment. Most exchanges support this sort of thing. Um, what we have now and today are some big changes in speculation as of the last, say, 50 years. More and more, it's more and more common that advanced speculation requires teams of engineers, and it's becoming almost instantaneous. And some of these tools are democratizing, but it should not be questioned that the financial automation tools that people have today with respect to their managing their assets are orders of magnitude less advanced than what the Goldman Sachs are using, et cetera, et cetera. So with these advanced speculation tools, and that means that the multiplicative effects on the amount of assets people govern, like if you could take a lord from the 1600s and say, hey, you can multiply your lands this year by 500%, all of those lords would transfer their assets into speculative instruments, even if they weren't land. And that's what we have today. So why would a lord jockey for social capital against other lords? Or why would a politician jockey for power against another politician when they could just go partner with people from the financial industry and become corrupt? And that's exactly what the right-leaning activists accuse the left-leaning activists of. And in reality, all political parties are in some sense completely corrupt because they need money to survive, and money is being given by people who are very good at speculating. So the actual power structures that we're allowed to vote for are unfortunately no longer influential. The only way we can vote for the activities of large corporations is by engaging in speculation and engaging in asset management. That's if individuals want to have a vote, right? So the 50% of the 50% the top 1% owns more than 50% of humanity. What we really the 0.1%. What we really need is this. If we wanted, if the rest of the assets were to influence the world, what you'd want is for the rest of the assets to have some sort of dictating force in the market, which they don't. So we're relying on politics to do something that politics isn't capable of. We're relying on politics to govern a system that is so cataclysmically more powerful than it. We're asking politicians to govern hyper billionaires and large corporate entities that have a centralization of power that's insane, right? So really, our politics is a little bit like fencing today, and it will keep getting more ridiculous and farce-like. It will get to the point where there'll be a skeleton crew of a few volunteers organizing political campaigns, left versus right, in any country, or red versus blue, and this process will continue until states or democracies actually are assigned some power, and until that date happens, I don't see this sort of trend changing. My answer to this, and the whole reason for me existing as an entrepreneur, is that I think all individuals deserve advanced tools to engage in speculation and asset management. I think that if I don't believe in guns, but I believe if everyone on your block has a gun and you exist in that society, that it's time to get a gun. I don't necessarily believe in excessive contract law, but if everyone's writing excessively complex contracts, then you have to write contracts. I don't know what to tell you. It's the game that people are playing in a society. In a society, very advanced, smart people are using financial engineering to engage in speculation and wealth transfer. So it just seems to me that it's the moral obligation of more centrist or left-leaning people to democratize those tools and share those tools with all of humanity and to educate. And it's not a surprise to me that politics is irrelevant, and it's not a surprise to me that we can't make a blanket rule that says, hey, if you play this speculation game really, really well, we're going to take your money back. They're playing a game, and I think that, it's the moral imperative of all people to learn about the nature of these systems of rules and these technologies, so we can democratize them, so that there's less value to be extracted from them in the future. And that's like what I see as one of the answers. If speculation is so powerful and it centralizes so much power, then why not give that power to everyone on the planet? And so this is a philosophical blog post, and if you have any questions or you think there are any topics, technical or philosophical, that you want me to cover, or anything you think I'm wrong about, I welcome any comments. I got a few calls after my last post, so it's really cool to reach out online and to actually get in those conversations. And that's it. Thanks. Bye.